So I came across this clip. It was like a 30-second clip someone sent me of Rick Rubin, this music producer who's worth like 300 million. And I watched the clip, and the interviewer, the camera kind of pushed in on Rick Rubin, and they were asking him um, about his body of knowledge as it related to music. And his first guttural response was, "I know nothing about music." And as I watched the clip, it dawned on me. This sort of epiphany hit me that I thought was interesting, and that's that competence, competence is largely a lie that has been sold to the middle class. If you look at every industry in the world that stilts and props up all industries, there are a plethora of competent workers. The most competent workforce in the world is the middle class. These people are very good at their jobs. That's why they have job security. But if you want to be extraordinary, and if you want to leave a fucking crater on this world, you need a hell of a lot more than competence. And when I watched that interview with Rick Rubin, it occurred to me, this guy's a fucking magician. He's not competent. This guy is a magician. He's an overseer. This is probably a subject who has outran all of his mistakes in his life. Because as a man, you actually can do that. As a man, you do possess the power and capability to outrun your past, to outrun every mistake, every pitfall, every jam, every corner you've ever been backed into. You can outrun that as a man. It's a game of attrition. Last man standing type shit. And I was watching this guy. He looks homeless. I mean, the guy literally looks homeless. And it just shows you the power of branding. The power of branding. And this segues perfectly into my next point, because what I've been seeing on the TL from guys that are on the come up in life, especially in the younger generation. Hear me out on this, because this is extremely important what I'm about to tell you. What I see is a ton of youngsters front loading their idiosyncrasies and thinking that being quirky and off color is a marketing strategy to kind of bootstrap yourself to a higher escalated level, which is very far from the truth. I rock a mohawk, okay? And the reason I rock a mohawk is because nobody tells me what to do. Nobody. I don't answer to anybody. So that idiosyncrasy makes a lot of sense because there's some threshold of success to back that up. If I was a broke bum on the street and nobody knew who I was, would I be rocking a mohawk? Fuck no. Fuck no. And I see a lot of tweets, especially from these up and coming accounts, dudes who really don't have a body of work. Nobody understands your philosophy. You don't have a coherent philosophy, don't have a business, don't really have receipts of much of anything. But your whole shtick is in your idiosyncrasies and in your quirks. And it's a very bad look when you don't have that baseline competency, right? That's the irony here, is that there has to be some baseline level of competency, and then you can overlay and start stacking things on top of that. Otherwise, you just create a very bizarre caricature of yourself, and you become sort of a laughing stock, and you become sort of like a silhouette. And it's really hard to unbrand yourself once you sort of take that route. I've said this before, and I think it's worth repeating. If you want to cement yourself as a legend in this life, you don't come hot out of the gates branding yourself on tomfoolery and buffoonery and clownery. Like, if you want to do the clowny antics, be successful first. Then you can start doing that shit, and it'll be respected. But if you just want the short-term fix and you want to catapult yourself to a semi-elevated level that's not going to last long, then sure, by all means. The clownery, the buffoonery, that shit'll definitely draw some attention, but you don't have brand longevity doing that type of shit. We've seen it a million times. We've seen all the charades. We've seen all the characters that have come and gone. The ones who came out of the gates with those extreme, polarizing, outstretched, disproportioned personas. They just don't last. They just don't last. So keep your idiosyncrasies in your pocket if you're not really successful, if you're not well known. Um, like you gotta flesh out like a coherent philosophy first. Like I said, like come from a real place, because the killers and the sharks, which I imagine like you're trying to capture some of that market share, because let's be real, there's plenty of killers and sharks on Twitter. They're gonna see right through that. They're gonna see right through that mask. And they ain't fucking with that. Nobody's fucking with that. I'm certainly not fucking with it. When I see a guy who's basically the class clown, who doesn't really have any other like grandstanding, it's just an instant write off. It's just an instant write off. So I just wanted to make that clear, and then I guess this is going to be a very mixed bag conversation because there's so much interesting shit going on right now. The whole male female thing has just blown my mind recently because I've been seeing what's kind of happened to the right wing here, and I find it extremely fascinating that first of all, there doesn't really seem to be any defenders anymore of the right. Like the brush has been cleared. You can go in and you can critique the fuck out of the right, and like no one's really gonna stand their ground. Like the whole fucking political axis right now, the whole like political theory, it's all up for grabs. Like people's thirst has not been quenched when it comes to like these new models and realities of living. I think the old guard is disappearing very rapidly. And what I mean by that is this: supposedly the arbiters of masculinity, the right wing, are have been literally mesmerized into a lot of really feminine antics that are extremely inverted. I'm seeing a lot of right wingers acting like women. And the polarity is just mind blowing to me. The first one that I pointed out the other day, and you guys have heard me talk about this forever, is the beautification of men. That one is extremely bizarre. That one is just always going to be very bizarre to me. The idea that we got a bunch of guys walking around trying to be pretty boys, trying to be more beautiful than their girlfriends. Um, Again, guys, like you want the best marketing 101 seminar of all time? I'll drop it for you right now for free. Life is all, and I mean all, about juxtaposition, the coincidentia oppositorum, the reconciliation of opposites. That is the entire game of life. And if you happen to be born a very handsome male, guess what? You better start getting roughed up. Like you better have crooked fingers. You better have some fucking scars. Like you can't coddle and mollycoddle like your natural traits. If you're a like a ghastly looking dude, then sure, style and presentation is a lot more valuable because you got to go the opposite. But if you're a good looking motherfucker and you can't walk in public because you're afraid you're going to scuff your shoes or you're going to fucking bruise your watch on the side of a table, or you're basically walking around in fucking plastic like Bubble Boy trying to protect your good looks, that is honest to God a road to just abject loneliness. Like that is going to be a horrific human experience. And so it's just all about the opposite. If you're a good looking dude, okay, go get roughed up. Go work fucking blue collar. Like I said, go do the opposite of what people would expect you to be. And then you easily stand out. So easy. And then the other one that truly blows my mind is like, you guys got to understand, I come from a generation where, like, when I was 17, online business was pretty much nil. There were a couple crushers who had some really obscure forms of marketing tactics that were doing really well. But when I was 17, when I was 18, you really had to have a brick and mortar business to be successful. So I kind of got the best of both worlds because I got to see the pre-internet world when we didn't really have cell phones either. When I was growing up, we had pagers. And then I've also seen the transition into the internet. So just kind of seeing that cultural fissure has been fascinating to me. And like this whole concept of these youngsters traveling in flocks in huge packs of dudes. Like, just 10 years ago, that shit was really fucking frowned upon. Like, fellas, I get it. Like, if you have a fucking SWAT unit and those are your boys, or you're a fucking firefighter and those are your boys, like you're literally extinguishing fucking forest fires together. I get it. I get going out for some fucking drinks with the guys that you're actually fucking doing shit with. I get that. But there is a bevy of dudes who are just traveling in these massive flocks, just like women, because they're under the guise and protection of the pack. It's easier to get rejected. It's easier to get blown out. You talk to a chick, you get smashed. You just hide in your little fucking group. I venture to tell you, all of your untapped happiness comes from riding solo. In your 20s, especially, there has to be a large extended period of time where you're riding solo. That's just a fact. You have to figure out who the fuck you are. You have to learn how to take yourself out to dinner. You have to go to the gym without a fucking gym buddy or a fucking spotter. Like, you can do so many things. You have to get on fucking airplanes, go travel the world, go explore the world solo, go backcountry skiing. I talked about this last year. I launched a series of tweets about how if you wanted maximum personal growth, then you have to start solo adventuring as a man. Because the nights are lonely, the nights are gnawing, and the nights are terrifying and they're horrifying. And a lot of these experiences that you're going to go through, you're not going to have a shoulder to cry on. And that's where you find who you are, what you believe, what you think. And then once you've spent enough time solo, and listen, guys, like this is because people don't understand nuance. That doesn't mean that you're not the most gregarious man on earth. Okay, just because you're solo doesn't mean you're an antisocial loner. Again, we're talking about branding here. If you're a solo cat and you never go outside, yes, you're a fucking loser. But if you're a solo artist and you're rocking out into the world and you're chatting up everybody, you go to restaurants, you're fucking breaking bread, you're meeting new people, you're in charge of the relationships that you are creating as a solo individual, that is a very honorable path. I'm not talking about being a fucking lone wolf. Of course you need people. Of course you need people. But it has to be done on your terms, because a lot of you guys have relationships and friendships. You don't even know why the fuck you have these friends. It's just a function of time. Like, enough time has passed to where you've just been unable to extricate yourself from these friendships that are holding you back. And the beauty of just going through the world solo is you are just completely in charge of every new person you meet. And then the beauty of it is, once you've proven to yourself that you can stand on your own 2 feet for an extended period of time, completely solo, then you re-inject yourself back into your environment. Now you can start going into the groups. And it makes a lot more sense because you have a solidified identity and you have a core. You have a core. If you do it in reverse and you're 20 years old, then you're going to spend your whole fucking 20s with roommates because you've lied to yourself and said that having roommates is going to push you every morning to do your little jumping jacks and fucking take your supplements and shit like that. Like, guys, that's a very feminine way of living. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Every killer that I know who's truly made it in this life went through a period of severe loneliness and solitude, which, by the way, guys, you guys are forgetting that solitude is inherently extremely masculine. So if you're not taking time to do things by yourself, going on midnight hikes, going backcountry skiing, like I said, going on scary adventures by yourself to go discover the world, you're missing out on these key areas of growth in your life that are going to really, really catapult your development. So we're seeing a lot of stunted development is what I'm noticing in this younger generation. Severely handicapped and severely stunted. Because what do chicks do? Chicks sit around at home with like 3 roommates, try each other's bras on. I mean, literally, I bet you guys are fucking sharing the same soap. Like, when you fucking brush your teeth, you probably got to look at the bristles to see if somebody else's pube is on it. Like, that's how fucking weird it is. Like, you guys are probably sharing clothes and shit, like trying on each other's underwear. That shit is feminine as fuck. It's feminine as fuck. I understand doing it for a period of time. That's fine, especially if you're working on a project together. My overarching point remains the same. You have to carve in your 20s it is critical to live the fuck on your own. Or by the time 30 hits, the sun will set. The sun will set on these opportunities for personal growth. I'm telling you, I've seen it firsthand. I'm witnessing it in real time. It is ugly. It is ugly. I'm going to move on to this next tweet that I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about women in the context of relationships. And this is also anathema to the sort of the traditional red pill prescription or criteria. And that's that I have come to the conclusion that to have the healthiest relationships with women possible, you really do have to do a lot of explaining. It requires a tremendous amount of communication. Like every woman that I am with, I take the time to explain to her why she's doing what she's doing. You have to like break down their psychology for them in a way to where they understand that not only are you on the level, like I know what you're doing before you know what you're doing, but on top of it, I'm also going to take the time to explain it to you so you don't do it again. And that's a huge piece that I think the red pill has missed because you guys have been taught to be Mr. fucking Cool Hand Luke, can't ever talk about what's bothering you, pretend like you're sitting in the car. You guys like are going to sit with awkward energy when there's something that needs to be resolved. And I think that is a huge mistake. Huge mistake for the longevity of your relationships with women. I refuse to sit in a room with a woman with awkward energy for even 2 fucking seconds. If there is any kind of tension whatsoever, it's going to be addressed. And I will address everything. Everything that bothers me, I will address. Like, I refuse to be a repressed male trying to pretend like I'm some fucking badass and nothing ever gets under my skin. Guys, that's fucking chicken shit. And that's how you're destroying and poisoning the vine of all your relationships. There is nothing wrong with sitting a woman down and explaining to her what's going on in detail, not trying to be fucking Mr. Cool Guy all the time. Like, that's just not going to get you very far. And talking about inverted males and the polarity of men and women, I do find it very interesting that a lot of men are openly on the TL talking about how they love bad girls. Like they don't like good girls, they like bad girls. Guys, what demographic is that? Like what comes to mind when you hear that? That's what women do. Women like bad boys. Men should not be liking bad girls. That's a very bad sign. Like I like angels. I like really fucking good girls. That's all I like. I don't like bad bitches at all. And then like the other thing too is like I think you guys are afraid to set ground rules with women. Like something that's worked for me for the longest time that has been extremely like impressive is every woman I meet, I refuse to hang out with a woman if she's on alcohol or drugs. Period. Like right off the bat, I make it very clear you ain't drinking around me and you ain't doing drugs around me. Period. Because I want you sober. I want to know exactly who you are. I want to know exactly what this is. I don't want any shading, any gradients. I'm going to get down like real quick to see who you are. And that's worked extremely well for me. And I feel like a lot of guys are afraid to set ground rules off the jump. And as long as you enforce the ground rules, because ultimately you're bringing a woman into your world if you have your shit together. And then you just have to ruthlessly enforce those ground rules. And then it's a pleasure for everybody. And this is so basic. It's sad I even have to say this shit, but this is like the state of affairs. This is like the culture has necrotized to a point where this shit has to be addressed. I'm gonna throw up some speakers here to kind of springboard off of this. Oh, the other thing too that is fucking comical, guys, is like a woman's. Hey, Mister, who I'm gonna put you off for a second, bro. I'm gonna finish this point. Fellas, like a woman feels most at home when she's nurturing a man who's on the warpath and has been slaughtered. Like if like the red pill has taught you that you can never lean on the arms of a woman because that's beta, and that is it's the complete opposite. Anytime any man that I know that's worth his salt that's been slaughtered in life, who's giving it a sincere effort, has always been able to fucking lean on the arms of a woman. A woman will take great fucking care of you when the chips are down if you are a real man. Like, that's like, there's no greater expression and joy of a woman's femininity and love than taking care of an ailing man who's on the fucking path. I've experienced it 100 times. In my 20s, when I would go bust, who do you think I'd fucking go crawl back to? A woman. And they would always take fucking great care of me. Get me back in shape, fucking nurture me, fucking massage me at night and shit. Like, all that, like, super deep love that you need when you get clipped, you go to a woman for that. And the red pill has told you that's beta. Which is, I mean, I could just go on and on for an hour about how absurd that is. But if you want to talk about actual roles and you want to talk about like order of tradition and restoring order, that's how things work in nature. Like, that's actually how fundamentally things work. So my brother, Mr. Who, jump us off here.
Hey, what's up? How's it going? You can hear me?
Yeah.
All right, so it's funny you're saying about I remember you talking about like leaving your mom's house when you were younger and stuff. Like, I'm kind of going through a situation like that right now. Me and my mom are like beefing a lot. So well, your advice would be just to leave, right? I guess.
Well, 100%. I think the important thing with that is that like a lot of guys don't have the strength or courage to leave. So what they do is they purposely start sabotaging the relationship at home, and they want it to get really ugly because they want her to do it. Like, a lot of guys listening to this want to move out of their parents' house, but they don't have the balls to do it. So what they're going to do is they're going to purposely start fights every single day until their mom is just fed up and done, and then she's going to give him the steel toe boot out the door. So then he can blame her and say, "Oh, she kicked me out." But really, it was a sabotage. Like, he did it on purpose.
Yeah.
So it just depends on the place. It depends on the place you're coming from, brother. I mean, you really gotta, if you really want to leave, that's not some fucking melodramatic saga that you need to play out with your mom. That's something you just get up and do.
Yeah, definitely gotta get out of here soon. And I have a question about your diet. I remember you saying you were like feeling anxiety and stuff in high school, and then you changed your diet. I want to know what you ate to like improve your.
Yeah. So like, I've been a very hardcore experimentalist in my life. I've tried pretty much every hardcore protocol you can try, and I came to the conclusion for myself that coffee is literally the devil. I'm convinced that the gin, if you look in fucking mythology, the gin is in coffee. That shit is fucking demonic. It puts micro perforations in your gut lining, and it doesn't allow you to absorb the nutrition that you're eating. I don't give a fuck if you're asymptomatic. Any long-term coffee abuser has a very, very fucked up gut. And what happens is when your gut has micro perforations, there's a severance of the connection between the mind and the gut axis. In other words, the bacteria and the parasites in your gut are no longer communicating with your brain. So your body freaks the fuck out because that pipeline has been vitiated. And what happens is you get that feeling of anxiousness, like you're crawling out of your skin. I've been rotating a theory for a while that modern anxiety, as we know it, is something that humans never experienced, maybe prior to like 50 or 60 years ago. If you look at any ancient text, even heroes, bro, can you cut out that noise?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Ancient heroes, if you look at any kind of text of anyone who did anything great, they talk about the panoply of emotions, but I've never seen anxiety as it's discussed today expressed in any kind of historical context. And I have a feeling that it is because of the diet and just how ravaged people's guts are. People have this sort of feeling all day where they're just kind of crawling out of their skin. They really don't understand how to rein it in. And it's physiological. Like I said, there's been damage to the gut. And so that brain connection is fucked. And so the body is panicking, and that's why you're feeling that. So coffee for anxiety is the number one thing to kick out.
Yeah.
100%. Now, I'm also a cigarette abuser, and I will tell you, cigarettes and coffee prey on the same receptors. Like, I've said before, a coffee is just a liquid cigarette, and a cigarette is solid coffee. It's pretty much the same shit as far as like the dopaminergic effects, but but like you can the actual like the way you metabolize coffee, dude, is pretty much like molten lava. That shit is just absolutely incinerating the gut lining, whereas cigarettes are more of an irritant.
Yeah.
I look at cigarettes as an exacerbator. And if you don't give anything to exacerbate, then cigarettes are a lot less harmful in my experience for myself. Like my diet is so dialed in that cigarettes don't really have anything to exacerbate. I don't really have a lot of inflammation. I don't have joint pain. Like my systemic enzymes are in check. So like cigarettes don't really fuck me up, but coffee will.
Yeah. And I have a question. One more thing. Like, I didn't have.
Bro, we got too many people requested, bro.
All
I'm
right.
gonna keep it
All right.
moving, but thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, thank you
Appreciate
for
it.
the question.
Appreciate it.
Oz, you're on.
Hey man, thanks for having me.
Yeah, what's good?
I just wanted to point out something you said earlier. I think it's great that you're talking about how, red pill and having all of the men not showing their emotions or not coming back to their women when they actually, need support. I think it's great that you're mentioning that because I think that a lot of the problems that men today have is because they want to appear like this invincible, very stoic guy when in reality, like that's not the case. And just, having that and not wanting to talk about and not wanting to accept those things, it's something that can actually like ends up fucking us all up, that much more.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Now, this is hyper nuanced, right? Because one thing you do never do is you never grovel or complain to a woman. I want to make that very clear. You never grovel or complain to a woman about your issues. But what I was saying is if something is personally bothering me that she did, you bet your ass I'm addressing that right on site. I will not tolerate any kind of awkward energy for even 2 seconds, especially in my home. It's going to get addressed and it's going to be addressed immediately. So that kind of segues into my tweet the other day, bro. If you look back, I was talking about coping. Coping is in many ways the appropriate response to a lot of fucking pain in life. And rather than going and complaining to a woman about your issues, you're way better off coping with some of anything but that. Because that definitely will incinerate the fuck out of your relationship and charbroil it to the ground. Is if you're fucking complaining about your shit. You don't do that. But you do address the things that bother you specifically. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. And I agree with that. I think it's just, the way it's, it's so weird how, the red pill movement has gotten a lot of men just so confused. So I think it's actually great that you're talking about that. And so I just wanted to point that out. And once you're done with the topic, if I may, I would like to just add a little bit to what you said earlier in response to the question on anxiety and the diet.
Yes. Go ahead.
Oh, thanks, man. The other thing is that one thing that I've noticed, at least with me, and then I started researching, was that whenever I woke up and I was waking up and I immediately had anxiety, just, I was feeling anxious. And it was literally the moment I woke up, I started realizing that all of those times I had, for whatever reason, eaten very simple carbohydrates, very simple sugars 1 or 2 days before. And so I started researching, and when you eat a lot of, like, when you're eating cake, when you're eating cookies, when you're drinking soda or whatever, like all of this ultra processed foods with a lot of sugar that are just empty calories, they also, bind to some receptors in the brain, and you can feel those effects 1, 2, even 3 days later in, as anxiety. And so I just wanted to add a little bit to that because I agree with what you're saying on the coffee, but also, a lot of people, and that's the worst part. A lot of people drink coffee and have sugary goods. And the worst part is most people actually combine them, right? So you'll have a coffee and you'll have like a bagel, or you have a coffee and you have like something sugary. And that's like the worst thing you can do. Just combine them because that'll,
Dude,
yeah.
if you go to any restaurant in the world and you just put ordinary table salt on your food, it is comical how every single table salt you can find in any fucking restaurant on the planet, if you look at the second ingredient, it's fucking dextrose. They're literally loading ordinary table salt with sugar because the average adult is such a child that they can't go 3 hours a day without consuming sugar. So they just need sugar in fucking everything. It's actually unbelievable how vigilant you have to be towards your health because they really are poisoning everything. It's not some fucking grand conspiracy to neuter you or to like for population control. All that's nonsense. The bottom line is capitalism, right? It's just capitalism. They're just filling up half the fucking container of salt with sugar because it's cheaper. That's just what it comes down to. So everything is just in the profit margins, and that's why shit is so fucked up. But we as individuals have a fucking choice. And that's why I do not entertain any conspiracies about they or the elites. I don't give a fuck what the elites are prescribing for me. I'm a grown ass man. I make my own decisions. I choose what I consume and what I don't consume. And I also choose to educate myself. So I think that shit's interesting, man. And then look, I want to give you an illustration, an example of what I'm talking to about addressing shit with women, okay? This was about a month ago. Chick I'm seeing needed my credit card to go get groceries. And I was busy. I was doing work in the house. She was out and about. And she asked me if I could leave the card. She asked me if she'd come pick up the card from the house. And I was busy. I was on calls. It was a super, super slam day. So I told her, I was like, listen, I'm going to put the card in the mailbox on the driveway. Just come get it. And she got really upset that I put the card in the mailbox, that I didn't hand her the card at the door when I told her I was busy. So I had a conversation with her when she came back, and I was like, listen, I was like, you asked me for the credit card, and I gave it to you. So the fact that you are throwing a hissy fit right now tells me that it was never about the card. You never wanted the card. What you wanted was my attention, and you wanted my affection, and you wanted a hug. You literally wanted me to open the door and embrace you and give you good feelings, because if it was just about the fucking credit card, you wouldn't have made a big deal about me putting it in the fucking box, because you got your card and you got your groceries. So those little, dude, this is what I'm trying to say. This is what people don't understand. Those little tiny microcosms in relationships are everything. If you don't address those tiny little things, those tiny little tiffs, you're fucked. You're fucked. And she wanted me to call her out on that behavior because she wanted me to address the fact that she actually just wanted some love. It was never about the card. She wanted to come over and see me and blah, 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 and have a big hug and a melodramatic fucking thing in the foyer. She didn't get that. So it turned into a thing. But I had to address it, and then I expressed that to her, and everything was good. So my point is like little shit like that just fucking piles up in relationships because guys don't fucking address the psychology behind it. And I had to explain it to her. Like, break it down and fucking explain to her the whole fucking thing. And she agreed. She agreed that's what she wanted. So my point is, man, is like, there's a huge difference between complaining and groveling and addressing shit that's going to be a larger issue down the line.
100%, I agree with that. And the interesting thing also is that a lot of women don't even know that. Like they do all of that unconsciously. And then you have a lot of men, especially when you're younger and you don't know how it works, just getting mad at them without them understanding that, hey, like they might not even know it. They might just be doing it unconsciously, right?
Exactly, dude. Yes, exactly. You have to see everything as a man. That's like the burden of being a man, is that you have to be so sharp that you understand all the motives and underlying reasons why women are doing what they do. And if you are a man who is that sharp and she cannot manipulate you and she cannot bamboozle you with those little schemes, you will have her for life. But if she can pull those tiny little things, if she can pull the wool over your eyes, the respect that she has for you starts to decrease. And I have never seen one relationship in the history of the world where once respect is lost, I've never seen respect be able to be regained from a woman's perspective. Once a woman no longer respects you, it is game the fuck over. You ain't coming back from that. So it's our job as men to live in a way where we expose ourselves to a lot of fucking stimulus, a lot of hardship and pain, because we are the bringers of wisdom. We extract all of these insights from going through our personal battles, and then our women benefit from that because when they're not feeling well or they don't understand why things are going on, you can come in and fucking explain it so they can understand. Like, that's literally a holistic approach to a relationship. Is you take your life experience and then you teach and you become a benefactor, and your women benefit from the light, from the wisdom that you've earned. And I think a lot of guys are just missing the mark on this, and it's very unfortunate.
I agree completely, man. One thing that that you said right now that was very interesting is, so I cannot speak for everyone, right? Because I was born and raised in Mexico. So we have a very similar culture to the American one, but we still have a little bit more, of that macho manly culture where we don't, and I'm not speaking for everyone, right? But where we don't protect our kids as much as probably in the States or other countries, right? Where you guys want to, like, your kids, let's not keep score with the competition because kids are going to get depressed if they lose. Or, let's baby proof everything or whatever. I mean, yeah, we do some irresponsible stuff, but my point here is one thing that I noticed is with me and my brother, so it's two men in the house. I also have female cousins, is that for us, like at least for most of the men in my family, we were allowed to do a lot of shit and go out at a very young age and commit mistakes and like make mistakes and then actually find a way to solve them ourselves. Whereas opposed to like our female cousins, like they're a little bit more protected. And one thing, that I've always thought about is that men are allowed and should be allowed to make a whole bunch of mistakes and get in trouble and everything because we need to be able to fall off a horse and learn how to get back up to get that confidence that we need so that later on in life, when we have a family issue, a business issue, work issue, whatever, we know that we're going to be able to solve it. As opposed to like with women, where you don't want them to learn firsthand what it is to get pregnant at 15. You want them to learn from somebody else, right? So I don't know, just you
Yeah,
saying
100.
that, it's just something that resonated with me a lot.
Yeah, 100%, bro. Look, above all else, like how a woman really feels safe with you as a man and can put her guard down and give you the world, because women really are the loyal ones. Like, you guys think it's your boys that'll bury a body for you at 2 a.m. Trust me, it's a chick. Trust me, it's a woman who will fucking climb under barbed wire and move mountains for you if a woman truly loves you. I've seen it firsthand over and over again. Women are the most loyal creatures on earth if they love you. And here's the thing, above all else, a woman truly at the end of the day, all she wants to know is that she cannot manipulate you and that you're going to see through all of her bullshit. That's all fundamentally what relationships come down to with women is, am I going to be able to pull a fucking ruse on this guy and trick him and manipulate him into behaving a certain way? And if she is unable to do that, she will feel so safe and she will give you all the love in the world. As long as she knows that she can't pull any of those little fucking schemes because she's like, he's going to see right through it. I can't even, like, they want to feel like they can't even go there with you because they just know you're going to see through their shit. They just know. They know you're the type of guy who's going to fucking call it out right away. And if you are that man, then you are unstoppable in your relationships at home because you're going to create a very healthy environment.
Completely agree, man. Thank you. I mean, uh, I really appreciate you having the space and just sharing all of that wisdom, knowledge, and experience
Yep.
with all of us.
Yep. I'm going to move forward, brother. Thank you. What's up, Ian?
Yo, Brute, what's going on, man? Thanks for bringing me on.
What's up, brother? Yep.
Okay, so I'm in a similar situation right now where I'm trying to make that transition to move out, and I was listening to a little bit of what you said earlier. I'm trying to move in with a roommate, so you wouldn't recommend moving in, even if you're getting out of your parents' house, even if you're gonna go move with a roommate, you wouldn't recommend that at all.
No, I would, man. It was somewhat hyperbolic. Like, there's nuance here. I know a lot of guys are gonna take that shit like to the letter. That's fine. That's fine, man. My point is that even if you're living with some fucking roommates, don't be afraid to go out and brave the world solo, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, go take some fucking trips, go to dinner. Like, you don't need to be with your buddies 24/7.
Exactly.
You just don't need it. It really does fuck up your growth. It's bad, dude. Like, it's obviously not ideal to have a roommate, but I understand everyone's financial situation is different. If your hand is forced to have a roommate, cool, that's fine. But carve out that world that I'm telling you about.
Mm-hmm.
because you're going to be light years ahead of your peers by the time you're 30 that never did that.
Nah, thanks a lot, man. I agree 100%. The next question I was gonna ask is,
My buddy Mercurophile on Twitter. He's the one who kind of got me stoked on that, because me and him were DMing and we were talking about this past generation. We were just talking about, we were reminiscing about all the fun shit that we did solo. Like, every life lesson that I ever learned came when I got my ass absolutely handed to me by myself and I had nobody to cry on, nobody to bail me out, no phone calls to ring, just drag my ass home and process it on my own. That has been the most transcendental experience that I have ever had on this planet, and nothing will come close. I'm going to take another one, brother. I appreciate it. Parker Nathans.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to say thank you, man. About a week and a half ago, I packed all my shit in a car and drove 20 hours down the East Coast of Florida. Just getting to a new apartment I've never been to before. But that, all the solo traveling, like everything I've really done in the last year has really been inspired by your tweets and your voice memos. So I just wanted to say thank you for that.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that feedback. That's huge. And are you feeling it? Give us some feedback. Tell us what it's like being solo.
Man, my advice, like anyone that's, because I was on this path for a long time, right? Especially anyone that has like moderate success, is that it just lights a fire under your ass to like get more shit done. More than anything else, it's knowing that nothing else is going to happen if unless you make it happen, right? All the work, hey, if you're living at home, you don't need to work as hard, you don't need to pay rent. Yeah, you can take the day off, you can watch Netflix. When you have real responsibilities, you can't do that shit. Like it just
Mm-hmm.
forces you to put up the put your what did you say? Put the gas on, just go faster. And I don't
Yep.
think anyone would really do that if they didn't need to, especially if they're just starting
Yep.
off.
Yep, dude. If you're in your early 20s and you got a solo apartment or whatever, and you're in a studio, like, you have zero business even owning a TV. Like, you should be staring at 4 blank walls, waking up in the morning bored to tears. So you're forced to go outside in the fucking real world and make things happen. You should not be fucking vegetating in your fucking apartment. That is the most destructive force on the male psyche known to mankind. You have to get the fuck out of your house. I understand the internet makes it so easy to saunter at home and fucking print money. I get that. But your walls, your fucking room should be barren, should be austere, like desert conditions. So you're forced to go out, because you will, if you're sitting staring at 4 blank walls, trust me, in about 10 minutes, you will get so pissed. The anger in you will start to fucking swell up because you have no place to offload it. You can't watch porn because you don't have a fucking computer set up. You can't fucking watch TV because you don't have one. So guess what? You got to take that emotion, get your ass in the gym, go do something fucking productive in the real world. That's really the only way to do it. The real world is never going out of style. I've said this 100 times. It's never going out of style. Like, doing deals on cocktail napkins in restaurants, that shit is going to stay forever. So get out there.
Brute, when you're a young man in your 20s like this, what's the best way to cultivate relationships with the woman around you when you're on the grind? You don't have time a lot. You're focused on your grind. What's the best way to cultivate relationships with
You,
women?
sh- you should just be having fun, man. Like, if you're in your early 20s and shit, I mean, it's like, how serious is it really going to be? Like, you don't have assets. You don't really have a fucking stronghold. You don't have a command center. You really start to get serious, healthy relationships with women when you actually, like, own shit. Like, you can start owning cars. You can start having houses and shit. Like, they need that fucking security. Like, when you're fucking young and you don't have anything and you're just running around, that's the time to really have fun. Yes, you could find some chicks who will rock with you until you make it. That's possible. But you really should just be fucking throwing darts, man. It's a fucking numbers game. Like, it's never been easier to cold approach women, dude, because nobody approaches women anymore. That's what the dating apps did. The dating apps made it so the guy who has the balls to go up to a woman in real life is so far ahead. Like, there truly is zero competition, because women really don't get approached anymore. They do, but not in the way they used to, like 10 or 15 years ago.
Peace and yeah.
JT Wayne, what's up?
Peace and blessings, man. Thank you for hosting this live, man. I'm inspired by the wisdom that you put out into the world, and you hit the nail on the head with the last thing you said. But just to follow up with my own unique position, my own question, you know, mid-20s, early 20s, sure, go out, have fun, and do your thing. But what about so I just turned 35 last week, last Tuesday to be exact, and I rode that wave. I had times of my life between 2012 up to this year, and yeah, here we are in 2023. I think my credit score is somewhere in the 600s, and I got a car, I got an apartment, but I just started thinking about, looking for a actual life partner, a decent female to be a spouse and bear my first children with me. You know what I mean? I got friends that are my age that have kids that are in high school. I got friends that are my age that have, 6-month-old infants. You know what I'm saying? So starting, there's an advantage to not having kids at 35, but you know, as you've been alluding to, the options are dwindling. And yeah, what would be your advice to somebody in my position? That's, I got ambitions, I got companies, I got goals. I'll have a house and some more assets before the end of the year. But yeah, trying to find a decent woman and be a good person along the way. What would you say?
You know what's funny, man? At the highest levels of the game, and nobody really discusses this, like women kind of just come to you. Like if you're an altogether man and you are that man that I just described, like women absolutely do just come to you. It's just how it works. Like it's all about positioning. Like what I'm saying is like if you if you lock down a spot, for example,
Hmm.
let's say you're a regular at a restaurant and you have this spot on lockdown every day of the week. Everybody knows who you are. You walk up, the valets are dapping you up. The bus boys are making, coming out of their way to say hi to you, shake your hand. The restaurant staff, everyone's, giving you love because you're just that guy. The quality of women you're going to attract just being in that position in those types of environments is far better than the types of chicks you're just going to approach cold, right? It's like a warm lead versus a cold lead.
Hmm.
So what I would suggest, if you do have all those things, is to find a spot or find some ecosystem where you can wedge your way into, where you have some control and some domain of power over there. And then things just come to you, bro. Opportunities, like that's like the end game of all this, is that everything just comes to you, right? Money, opportunities, friendships, relationships, women, like it should all just be coming to you effortlessly. Once you've crafted and built yourself into a man who's worthy of that, then you really no longer have to cold approach.
Yeah. Well, I'll just on that note, I closed my first client today to do some marketing for them. So that's exactly what we're doing, man, and I appreciate the inspiration you provide. I'm just gonna ride that way. I'm gonna be excellent for these folks and for whoever I meet along the way of serving these folks.
That's all you got to do, man. You just got to be the master of your craft, and everything truly does come to you, man. That's how it works.
Peace.
Yo,
Yo,
yo, it's cracking boot. Uh, so I day trade for a living. I like at a decent enough level, and like would consider that a variation of professional gambling, like you do yourself. So
yep.
I was wondering, how do you deal with risk management from a professional perspective, since controlling risk almost seems to be like the antithesis of your ethos in some way, and just like how those wins and losses affect your psyche.
They don't anymore, man. Like I've talked about this at length, but my mission in this life has been to basically tear out as much pain circuitry from my central nervous system as possible. And I feel like I've somewhat cracked the code. Like I just simply do not get rattled by the losses anymore. I pretty much can sustain any kind of damage that comes my way. And that's just from years of experience of firing. Dude, I mean, I am risk on 24 hours a day in my business. Like I am firing with my investors 24/7. I'm firing massive sums of money. People's 50-year life savings I could lose in one day. And I don't feel a fucking thing because I have that experience and I have that strength threshold. And I also have the leadership where anybody who works with me, I show them that I am willing to die. I am willing to lead from the front, and I will never ask you to do something that I am not willing to do myself. So, meaning, if you're putting big money stacks with me in my business, you bet your ass all my resources are on the line as well. Because I'm either going down with you or we're going up together. That's how I've always rolled. And I think a lot of these youngsters, man, it looks like a perfect question. are missing out on that call to adventure. People are so fucking scared of loss and waste and lost time. And like, it's fucking crazy, man, because when you can shed someone's entire life in one day and you draw that breath and you realize you're still alive and you wake up the next morning and you're still strong, you're still fit, you still got your shit together. You live to fight another day and you realize it's all a fucking charade, dude. It's all fake. Like all the pain, all the future anticipated chaos and pain that you think you're going to experience, none of it's real once you're actually facing down the barrel of the gun. It's just not near as bad. It's never as bad as it is until you actually experience it. The anticipated loss is far worse than the loss. That's just always been the case. And like, man, I got unique opportunities all the time. Like even right now, bro, we got Australian Open. Australian Open is the biggest tennis tournament of the year. I'm firing between $500,000 and $1 million a day right now on this tournament. I got investors. I got a team behind me. I know there's dudes sitting at home right now that have fucking bags that would fucking kill to come along with me on a fucking journey in my business and work with me fucking heads up. We fire together. We fucking, like, we go through the storm together and we start making money. Like, there are dudes right now listening to this.
Yeah, you're talking to one right now.
Exactly. What I'm saying is, like, these dudes, man, you guys are sitting at home and you've never really experienced any fucking sort of risk profile. You don't really know who you are. You don't know what you're made of. And I'll offer that to you. Like, if you, I'll offer it to you right now. If any of you dudes want to come along for the craziest adventure you've ever been in your life, it's risky. It's fucking heartbreaking. At times, it is the most brutal thing you will ever go through in your life, but it's authentic. It's real. Fucking DM me right now. If you have big crypto bags and you want to fucking rock with me on my next run on the Australian Open, I'll fucking bet with you. You can come along on my team. I will show you my business inside out. But do
Yeah,
not fucking waste my time. Dude, I'm telling you, this is like another common denominator with these youngsters. So many tire kickers, man. There's so many tire kickers, people who are not important that want to tell you they want to get shit done, they want to work with you, and then they flake out because they want to feel important. They want to feel like they're needed, and then at the last second, they just don't pull the trigger. So if you are somebody who wants to pull the trigger, you want an actual adventure, you want some real world experience, and you have big crypto bags, like 50K minimum, DM me right now. I'll fucking get you loaded up tonight and we'll fucking fire together. I'll fucking show you how this shit works. I'll show you like what it feels like to fucking lose and then fight back and claw back and then win again. Like, I'll show you firsthand. I'll hand select you right now.
I'll DM you.
All right.
I will say I have some experience in the old losing department myself. Like I've been around for a bit doing this as well. I'm not one of these crypto bros to say, but I would love to see how you operate. It would be great,
Brother, pain and loss. The man who can endure all that shit is the man who just gets everything in the end. It's just how it works. It's just how it fucking works. If you can seriously fucking test these forces within yourself and push yourself to these places that are so daring and so bold and so uncomfortable, that's how you fucking get what you want. I've seen everything. I've had my heart slaughtered on every possible event you could possibly imagine. I've had every combination go wrong in a single day and clip me for my net worth thousands of times. Thousands of times. Shit that would make men jump off a fucking bridge and commit suicide. Those events have happened to me. That's the kind of money that I have squandered in this life. But you know what?
no doubt.
I never fucking gave up. I never quit. I sharpened my system. I got a new team. I got fucking an army of risk takers behind me. And now I'm fucking whooping the book's ass week in, week out. I am terrorizing the fucking sports books now because I never fucking gave up. When everyone was like, dude, what are you doing to yourself? You're killing yourself. Of course I'm killing myself. This is my fucking mission. I want to be extraordinary. I want to be fucking phenomenal at what I do. I will never give up.
Yeah, no doubt. I
That's
mean,
the ethos. That's the ethos. That's
it is.
that's the whole fucking thing right there, man. I just summarized it for you in a nutshell. If you are willing to destroy yourself and stake your blood, sweat, tears, bone, and grizzle into something and fight until the bitter end, it's impossible not to be successful. It's impossible.
I love
So,
it.
so DM me. DM me. We'll shoot together tonight. we'll be firing into the abyss tonight
Right, bro.
on the Australian Open, and
Listen,
we'll be making money.
I'm ready. I'm in Dubai right now. It's 5 a.m. I don't mind. I'll stay up and we'll hit some tennis.
All right, baby.
All right. Hey, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
I appreciate your question. So, Roosh, what's going on?
Hey, Brute, thanks. So, I'm a software engineer, and I'm spending all day staring at a fucking computer screen. It feels like I want to work in the real world, right? But I gotta do this, high-paying thing, just living in the digital world. And I feel like
You don't have to.
don't have to, but I need to make money somehow.
Yep.
How do you like cope with living in the digital kind of world? Because you gotta do something like that these days. How?
Yeah. So, I mean, I've kind of curated that from a personal level, man. Like I tweeted about this once. I've not used an actual desktop computer in 12 years. I refuse to sit behind a fucking computer. Anything I can do on my phone that I can't do on a computer, I outsource to somebody else. If I need graphics, if I need something done, I just have somebody else do it. The phone is so nifty that I just like to be in motion. I like the fact that I can go up into the mountains, I can drive, I can still tweet, I can get my work done, I can run my business on the move, on the fly, which I actually think is the future. I think in the future, everything's going to downsize and people are just going to be running their businesses off their phones. That's definitely coming. I've been light years ahead on that shit. And dude, I mean, I'm just a physical fucking specimen. I'm always fucking moving, pacing, dropping down into a fucking deep squat, lifting. Like I'm just in motion all fucking day long with my phone in my hand. Because I've said this before too. You honestly cannot be successful in the modern world without a phone addiction. I'm 100% convinced that you have to have a severe phone addiction to be successful.
Hey, Brute, what allowed you to take so much risk in life?
Bro, it's in my fucking nature, man. It's me being true to who I am. Some of us are born to just do fucking insane things, man. And rather than deny that aspect of myself, and rather than pretend it doesn't exist because I don't believe in self-repression, I've seen what happens when people deny what they're called to do, no matter how tragic or no matter how abrasive, no matter how difficult, no matter how tumultuous it is. The people who don't lean into their natural destiny are the ones who live very, very pitiful lives. And I'm just somebody who has been called to this style of adventure and this style of living. And I refuse to lay down my weapons and disarm myself because that's my edge. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with my business. I am obsessed with cracking the code. I am obsessed with scorching these books for as much money as I can. So nobody is ever going to stop me from that conquest. No matter what the fucking consequences are, by the way. Because I accept my destiny, but more importantly, I accept who I am. And I don't fight against myself. There's a huge difference between working with yourself and fighting against yourself. And 99% of the population is constantly in using self-resistance, forcing themselves not to do the things they want to do. And that's just a pathetic, bitch-ass way to live. And I refuse to live my life like that. So I fully accept and take full responsibility for the lifestyle that I have chosen. Yes, it's up and down. Yes, it's risky. Yes, it's painful. But the upside of living in harmony with my spirit has given me everything that I've ever dreamed of on this planet. It has given me everything that I ever wanted as a child, and it's given me everything that I ever wanted as a fucking teenager and an adult. Just living in congruence with what I've been called to do. I'm a fucking risk taker. It's who I am. That's never going anywhere. So I guess, to come back full circle, what I'm trying to say is don't try to be somebody that you're not. Because that's the most miserable, pathetic life that you can live. JW, what's up, baby?
What's up, bro? Thanks for having me. I got this new job in one of the former colonies of my country, and so I'm going to recruit people who are maybe skewed a bit to and being antagonistic towards my culture. I was wondering, how do you transcend cultural barriers?
It's a good question, man. Amplify that question for me. Give me like a specific vignette.
Um, so I work for the military, and I'm going to recruit youth to do a certain program and get a job within the military here. Um, that they are kind of paranoid for the force I'm working here. Yeah, and I'm wondering how you see that thing.
Okay, that actually confused me a little more. Um, I man, I don't see the whole fucking like race culture thing. None of that shit ever stuck with me.
No.
I am fully convinced the only dichotomy, the only true beef that exists on this planet, it ain't West Coast versus East Coast. It ain't blacks versus whites. All that shit's bullshit. The only true beef that has ever and will always exist is poor versus rich. Poor people do not like poor people do not like rich people, and rich people do not fuck with poor people. And rich people, no matter what your race, creed, denomination is, always get along. Always get along. Winners love winners. Winners will always hate losers. Losers are always going to hate winners. That is the true beef since the dawn of time. So I don't know, man. I just don't look at it from that lens. I don't think any of those other binary beefs are real.
All right. Thanks.
What's up, Arch?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I was just going to ask. I've built a business over the last like 2 years. I've built it to a pretty good level, um, but I don't see it as like the main thing I want to do. I've had like a pretty strong athletic background, so I'm wondering like, how do you? Is there like a way to exit from something like that, or like because it's a pretty full time thing, and I'm pretty proud of like what I've done with it. But yeah, I'm just wondering like,
Yeah, man, that's a good question. That's a good question. So I'm cut from the type of cloth where I have the kind of fighting spirit that if I want to do something, I cut everything but the dream. I'm willing to slash everything but the dream. Like for me personally, I would never go work a temporary job while I built a side business. I don't believe in plan B. I don't believe in plan C. I believe in never saving anything for the swim back. I believe in swimming so far out that you have no choice but to continue to go and you can't turn back. That's how I've always lived. I'll figure it the fuck out along the way. I don't care if I have to be poor. I don't care if I have to starve. I will make my dreams come true at no cost. And I will not allocate any of my time away from that. And that's how I've always scrapped my way through life, man. I have been a scrappy motherfucker. There have been times where I genuinely needed to go get a job because I was that hard on my luck, and I just kept fucking pushing and just kept finding little fucking side hustles and side gigs and just ways to just kind of keep myself afloat without investing so much time into shit that I didn't want to do. That's been the greatest levy that I have ever enacted upon myself is simply I woke up one day in my 20s and decided I am no longer going to do a fucking thing that I don't want to do. I'm just not going to do it. I don't care if I have to suffer relentlessly. I don't care if I have sleepless nights. I don't care if everybody turns their back on me. I'm not doing a goddamn thing that I do not want to do that is not in alignment with my spirit. And I just refuse to live a life like that. Refuse. Absolutely refuse, and I will accept all consequences that come with that. Every last one of them. If I have to die in a hole and crawl out into a jungle and die under a pile of leaves because I couldn't figure it out, I accept that. But once I made that choice, that I was no longer going to capitulate or kowtow or bow down to what anybody else programmed me to do, everything started to make sense, and I started to get everything that I wanted in life. Everything. I was easily able to get women when I had nothing, when I was poor, because I had that swagger. I've always said this, being poor and being rich in many ways are eerily similar. They're eerily similar in the swagger that you have. It's the middle that always gets fucked. The middle always gets fucked, because when you're poor, you have that fuck you attitude that is very attractive, and you almost enjoy 95% of the benefits that rich people do, because you just really don't have, you're kind of at your own mercy. You kind of can do whatever the fuck you want. Like, you don't have to answer to anybody. It's just the issue with that is you can't stay there for very long. If you stay there for very long, you can get real addicted to being a loser. And that is fucking spooky. Like, there's dudes out there that are literally stealing the Wi-Fi from Starbucks every day, driving to car dealerships to get free coffee and shit like that, living that like minimalistic lifestyle. I renounce minimalism, because I feel like a lot of people who have embraced minimalism are hiding from the competitive game of capitalism. And I think capitalism is the greatest game ever invented. And I think as men, we have a responsibility to play that game with the full extent and might of our power, strength, and imagination. And I don't think that it's ever cool to cower from the opportunity that capitalism has provided all of us. So it's like, I guess I'm just at the extreme end, bro. I would rather be dirt fucking poor with no job than making 6 figures a year at a job that I absolutely fucking despise, going home and I want to strangle my boss every day. Like, I would literally rather live in dirt than live that life. But that's just me.
Yeah, I suppose you got
That's
to
just
figure
me.
out
It's
these things,
for me,
don't you?
bro. It's glory or bust. Like, it's all or nothing. Like, I'm going for glory, or I'm at zero. It's just like there's no fucking in between with me. I will tell you this though. I think that is a common feature of people who are highly successful, and it's also a common feature of people who are highly unsuccessful. So it's a very delicate balancing act. I am not going to sit here and pretend like that is a role model point of view. I would never recommend my lifestyle to anybody else. I'm just telling you from my perspective, that's how I've been able to operate and navigate this life.
Sound, man. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hey, I was wondering, are you familiar with Kapil Gupta?
I am not.
He's spoken a lot about not doing prescriptions, not abstaining, stuff like that. One of the only other people I've heard talk about that besides you.
Interesting. If you have any resources, bro, please DM them to me.
Absolutely, will do.
Nicholas, what's going on?
What's up, brother? I just randomly popped into this space and like immediately was gripped by the sheer fucking energy you're putting out. So I wanted to say respect to it. Loved what you're putting out here today. And then just a quick question I wanted to ask you. Something I've noticed in my own life, and then the more people I've talked to, the more I've seen this as a pattern. And I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on it, just based on what you've been saying thus far. So I've noticed this like wave up and down with my bank account balance in terms of like how much I'm just sheer fucking grinding. So I will have this point where it almost feels like I have too much money in my bank account. It's just kind of like a weird feeling to have because everyone's just saying accumulate as much as possible. But I'm like, every single time I want to get to work or grind or focus or whatever it is, my mind's like, dude, chill. Like you're set. You got whatever. It's like 80 racks just sitting there. You don't need to do anything. And like just enjoy the time that you have right now because it's gonna be chaos in the future. And there's just this like need to get rid of the money. To like I'm just like, I have to get rid of this. Otherwise that drive is gone. But then what happens is I'll invest the money. I'm never like stupid with it. I don't do stupid shit really. I don't really need to buy any stupid shit. I already got all my stupid shit bought. So I always invest it into like coaching, into just like things that are going to make me better as an individual. And I noticed that though there's that point where if my bank account hits that number, it's like 30 or like 40 G's or something like that. That's where like just like my butthole puckers a little bit. I'm like, fuck. You know,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
really like, now I'm like, it almost feels like I go into a scarcity mindset. And I don't know if this is like necessarily healthy to be living in these like extremes at all times. And I feel like you just understand this. Like hearing what you've said, I'm like, if someone understands this guy. And I'm just curious to hear your thoughts on like living that lifestyle. If this is something that like there's a better way, or if I'm just due to my age, I'm fairly young, I can't see this just yet. Just curious to hear what your thoughts are, man.
I can completely relate to that, dude. What that is that's that primal instinct to hunt. I've always said this. There's like I'm very disconcerted and I'm very off put by the idea of like making a ton of liquid and then having like a financial institution like a Merrill Lynch like go manage my money. To me, that just feels like self-cuckery in a way. Like I'm the type of guy who just wants to be a steward of my own money till the day I die. And I also want to wake up and fucking hunt for my bread, because there's something that cleanses the soul in that. You're talking about a very spiritual principle here that I think a lot of people probably would not understand. I understand it because it is the true primal way of living, bro. Like, let me give you an example. There's a lot of people, especially high profile people, that are walking around with some really fucking bad habits. Like Michael Jordan is like in anybody's book a degenerate gambler. But here's the thing. He's been so successful and he has so many vehicles and instruments that make money that he's literally outrunning his demon on a daily basis. Like he literally cannot bankrupt himself because the vehicles that he built are too powerful. And I believe that is the apotheosis, that is the pinnacle of the human male experience, is being so powerful and having the ability to generate so much capital and so much success for yourself that you're essentially able to eclipse and overshadow all of your bad habits and quirks and idiosyncrasies, if that makes sense. So
Yeah,
so
that makes a lot.
basically, like, bro, there's tons of fucking high profile people who are fucking drug addicts, like straight up. Like they're doing fucking cocaine and blow. They're doing all sorts of fucking crazy shit that would absolutely annihilate an ordinary person. But they're so successful and they have so many vehicles set up that they're basically able to sustain those nasty habits almost indefinitely. Some of them don't. Some of them obviously get clipped along the way. But I guess what I'm saying, dude, is like that's a very abundant spiritual mindset of like, look, I don't give a fuck what my bank account's at, because I know if I wake up tomorrow and I really fucking put my mind to it, I can figure out how to build a vehicle that's gonna keep me replenished. I love that style, bro. I love that style. I personally fucking despise the concept of saving money. I just absolutely fucking despise it. Like I would never just have tons of fucking capital just rotting in a fucking account, earning like fucking 2% a year. That would never fucking happen in my world.
Yeah, just it's like when it comes down to what you're talking about with Jordan and all that. I don't know if you've read any of like Tim Grover's stuff, but he talks about this with like the dark side. Like everyone that's like a high performer, he calls them cleaners. Like they have this dark side, and I've like really tried to ponder what that is, because a lot of those addictions and shit, like I've just conquered that because I didn't. It really what it came down to is, does this interfere with my work? Yes, get the fuck out. Like I would just stop it because
Exactly.
I cared that much about it, you know?
Exactly, dude. And it's all in the branding, bro. Like self-branding is the whole fucking game of life. Like if you took a guy like Jordan and gave his fucking gambling habits to an ordinary person,
Oh,
they
they
would
couldn't
be
handle it.
they would be the biggest loser on earth. But the way Jordan does it, you don't even fucking know. He's still the fucking GOAT. He's still the greatest of all time. So it's like, how excellent can you be in your pursuit of greatness to sustain the habits that you're unwilling to get rid of? See, when it comes to removing character defects in your life that you know are destructive, the only question you need to ask yourself when you want to make a personal change, if something's holding you back, if you're exhibiting behavior that's ruining your life, you ask yourself one question: am I willing to give up the benefits that come from this bad behavior? Because every bad behavior you have has incredible benefits or you wouldn't have it. Right?
Damn,
Like I've said this before. Every habit that you have, no matter how destructive it seems, is profitable. You're profiting somewhere from whatever kind of behavior you're exhibiting. Like there is a profit margin on the bad habits that we have. And that's why most people are unwilling to get rid of them, because they don't want to get rid of the benefits.
Damn, I've never looked at it before like that. I feel like the one that comes to mind for me that everyone is constantly telling me is bad, and like I'm constantly like kind of having to police it a bit, is just like the amount of influence that I let into my sphere, or like what I'm addicted to is literally like paying people to like talk to me, and like I want to hear how you fucking think, like coaching, all that shit. I must have in the past year spent like a minimum of like 200 grand on coaching and just talking to people, masterminds and shit like that, just sheer information, because it's like I'm like, it hasn't stopped working. It fucking works every single time. I'm better every fucking year, and I consume a shit ton. But I know the downside of it. The downside of it is sometimes I get in this state where I'm like, fuck, I don't know what to do, because I have 50 voices in my head, all different perspectives that are all valuable. But you're absolutely right that the net benefit of it, that I'm getting all these perspectives that most people would never have access to, is like, I mean, that's by itself priceless. You can't even put a
Exactly.
price tag on it.
Exactly, dude. Even no matter what lifestyle you choose, it's profitable. That's the crazy part. Even losers, even people who do nothing and have zero ambition, they've chosen a profitable lifestyle. Because typically what happens in those arrangements is you get a loser who can't get his shit together. He's going to be reliant as a leech on somebody else for resources, whether that's his parents bailing him out, whether it's a fucking girlfriend. Like, no matter what lifestyle you choose, there's profit there. So it's like, that's why people remain losers. That's why people remain low. That's why people never strive for greatness, because for them, they figured out a way to manipulate whatever ecosystem or system they're in to survive.
Mm.
They're just able to survive on a daily basis, carrying on the way they are, but they don't really want anything more. And that's the problem with the modern world. The modern world makes it so that basically any lifestyle you choose, you're going to survive. Food is so cheap, rent is so accessible, that basically no matter what you do, you're almost never going to go bust in this society,
Oh.
unless you're severely mentally ill and you really want to be homeless. Like it's just that simple. So like that, dude, that's why there's so much angst. That's why there's so much depression in the youth, because they're surviving daily. They know their needs are met, but they want something more.
Yeah.
They want to leave a footprint on this world, and they
Yeah.
don't know how to make themselves visible.
Damn. Dude, this is amazing. I'll let someone else take it. I mean, I could go all fucking night with you, but this is amazing. Thank you, dude.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
All right, brother. Look, I'm 24. I left home at 20. I own a home here in Florida, and I have a body of work. And at the risk of doxing, I'll just say it's a body of work that I'm pretty willing to bet a hefty sum that it's come in contact with you. You might already be aware of it if I told you. But I've pivoted my career from what I'm really good at into starting a tech company. And I've invested every dollar that I have and do not have. And I've intentionally put my back against the wall here to bring this product ex nihilo. And I just got a consultation from a basically a VC guy who's raised millions for other companies, and he just confirmed what I know in my soul, which is that this thing will generate 8 to 9 figures in the first two years if I can get it off the ground. But I am bled dry. On February 11th, I have no money, but I have a minimum viable product. And everyone I talk to is happy to tell me it's a great idea. Oh, man, yeah, this is going to be awesome for sure. But no one puts their money where their mouth is. So how do I bring a sincere, high net worth individual into my life that will recognize the value of the prospect that I've built and invest in me and the company?
Man, that's a great fucking question. This is like one of the juiciest questions I've ever had, because this really plays upon a very taboo subject around these parts, which is like, if you really want to make your dreams come true, you're going to have to put yourself in severely uncomfortable situations. Like when it comes to, because I think what you're talking about, bro, and I've tweeted about this, is like, if people really believed that their dreams were going to come true, you would have no problem going to every fucking family member, every acquaintance, every friend, every fucking relationship you've ever met. You would go hit those people up for the financing to make your dreams come true. If you really believed that your product was going to be worth that much money, you would have no problem borrowing every fucking penny available to you on the planet to make your dream come true right now. And here's the crazy part. Everybody listening to this show right now has the money under their nose, sitting right under their nose as we speak, to finance whatever projects they want to do. It's just, do you have the balls to put yourself in the fucking hot seat and deal with the consequences if you can't make that come true? Are you willing to bet on yourself to that degree? That's just what it comes down to. Because the money's there. You know it. I know it. The money's right under your nose. As we speak, that money is under your fucking nose.
Yeah, I hate hearing it. I know. I mean, like I'm thinking, okay, second mortgage, sell my fucking car and bike, whatever I gotta do.
How bad do you want it? That's exactly it, bro. How bad do you really want to make that shit come true? And if you don't, then you really got to ask yourself, are you sabotaging? Are you doing it on purpose?
Right.
You know. So yeah, man, that's a great question, and that's a delicate one, because most people don't want that kind of pressure and responsibility. And I understand why, because it's brutal. It's absolutely brutal when you're the star of the show and you're the center of attention and you got people relying on you and depending on you and you got to perform. I'm in that situation every day of my fucking life. I'm in a performance-based industry. People are counting on me. They're counting on me to perform. And I love that shit. I wouldn't have it any other way. But I will also fight till the death for my people. I will fight to the death, which means I will pillage and plunder every fucking last resource on the planet to make it happen.
The idea that it's right under my nose. So there's some level of, there's some level of not humiliation, but martyrdom of I am going to go to every cousin, uncle, friend, kid in high school, whoever had a good rapport with.
Yep.
Damn.
It's a brutal game, bro. It's a brutal game, but I'll tell you this. There's a lot of guys who claim they would love to be in your position. And then once they get in your position, they realize they want that old job back. Because they realize they call uncle. They call uncle, they wave that white flag, and they're like, you know what? This is not what I thought it was. And dude, the situation you're in is beautiful right now because you really get to figure out who the fuck you are right now. Like, are you really that guy? We're going to find out here very shortly if you're really that guy.
And I'm glad to be doing it at 24. I feel spiritually like I'm 40. And I came across your Twitter about a year and a half ago, and it's been an endless source of orientation. So I'm grateful for it. And I'll see you at the top.
Yep, I appreciate it, bro. Thank you. James, what's going on?
What's going on, man? I appreciate you helping me about 6 months ago. I DM'd you a question, and it was really useful. I had a question today, though. I think you actually touched on this earlier. It was about like discovering your destiny and kind of figuring out, what your calling is. What are some things you can look for to sort of like follow the breadcrumbs, if you will, or like pick up on the clues about what that actually is?
So I have a very unconventional, unorthodox way of going about this. And I truly believe if you want to find the North Star or the Lodestar, whatever you want to call it, I think you look, first place a man looks is to his vices. You look to your bad habits. You look to the things that you do that are destructive in your life, because those things that you're doing, you're only doing them because you're not following your destiny. So if you uncover the underlying motivation for why you are self-destructive or why you do the things that are harmful to yourself, that's really where all the magic is. Most people don't want to look there because it's very fucking nefarious. It's extremely ugly. It's a very fucking grotesque process to peel back those layers. But if you follow the trail towards any of your destructive habits, right underneath there is the actual obsession that's not being utilized in the correct way.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like looking at it backwards.
Yes, it's just a reverse engineered way of doing it. I mean, dude, it's like, it's just such a fine line. It's such a fine line. I mean, like some of the most talented people in the world have no clue that they're just standing in their own way. They have no clue that they've just been standing in their own way for years. And they're just blaming everybody else because they don't want to disinter. They don't want to disinter the gravestone and look what's underneath, because it's fucking spooky, dude. It's
Yeah,
fucking, it's
when you
fucking
go
spooky.
look in the mirror, it's kind of scary for definitely myself included. I've thought about that, and I'm sure others.
100%,
Same.
100%. But I'll tell you this too: real change never happens until you're absolutely fucking disgusted with yourself. Like,
Yeah,
I've never seen someone truly change their life without being ferociously, absolutely appalled and disgusted with their state of affairs. Like, change just doesn't happen because most people make changes because other people want them to make the changes. That's just the reality. Like, most people decide to take on new jobs, new habits, new this, new that, because somebody else told them to do it. And that's just not sustainable.
yeah,
It's
they're living someone
extremely
else's.
unsustainable. Yeah. Yeah. That's just what it is, man. But this is the work, bro. This is why I say all that internal reflection shit is bullshit, because the actual secrets are sitting right in front of you right now. You don't have to meditate for 3 hours or fucking journal your thoughts. Everybody knows right now what they're being called to do and why they're not doing it. Every fucking person knows. Everybody. Everybody listening to this knows exactly what they were born to do. And they know if they're being a coward, and they know if they're pursuing that, and they know if they're just fucking playing, children's games. We all know. We're men, bro. This shit is factory installed out of the box at birth. Like, we are equipped with this compass. All men are propelled in a certain direction. That's just like the male spirit. Like, all of us are fucking propelled and compelled to take certain paths in life. And a lot of us are just interfering with our destiny. Constantly fucking interfering with the loop. And
Yeah, that was cool. Thank you.
yeah, it's a way of exponentially increasing the pain, unfortunately. That was a good question. I'm gonna get Riley's up here. What's up, Riles?
Yo, what's up? How you doing?
What's up, man?
Hey, I had a question regarding kind of extreme focus. I always hear people kind of saying that you can have all knowledge, but having the focus to actually act upon it is one of the most important things. Except like right now, and in the time of day we live in, with all distractions with the internet, you name it. How do you focus, or what makes you focus? Is a better question. Um,
Dude, that's a good question, man. So today, this this chick I'm seeing was showing me some shit on Instagram, and she came over to me and she was trying to show me some fucking video or whatever, and I had to fucking wave her off. And I was like, listen, my life is so interesting right now that I literally cannot be bothered with hearing the news or what the fuck's going on in Antarctica or what they're fucking giving trannies. I think she was showing me how crazy it is that the types of tranny surgeries that people are getting. She's super conservative, so she was repulsed by it. But I was just like, I'm to a place in my life, man, where I believe I am the news. I am the media. Like, whatever I have going on in my immediate environment just means the fucking world to me. I don't give a fuck what's going on at the fucking White House. I just don't care. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to know. I'm extremely fucking sensitive to like advertising, fucking the radio. Like, I'm just very fucking insulated and devoted to my work. And that's all I give a fuck about right now. And it took me a long fucking time to get there, bro. But I truly do believe that is the fucking way right now in the current society, is to stop fucking indulging in the fucking news. It's all fucking garbage. All of it. It's just pure trash. Like, I just literally don't want to hear about anything, dude. I don't want to hear how many fucking points fucking, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I just want to stay devoted to my work, take care of my people, and continue to fucking produce what I'm producing. And I honestly think anybody who decides to take that path is pretty much guaranteed to make it. Pretty much fucking guaranteed to make it.
Sick. I really appreciate that insight there. I just wanted to say I hadn't come across your account until today, but I love the stuff you're putting out, man, and I wish you all the best.
Yep, I appreciate it. Likewise. Yo, Cruz, what's up?
Yeah, what's up, Bert? I wanted your insight on something. I am 24. I have a 2-year-old son, and I'm asking you this because I know you're a father. I'm doing okay for myself now. I'm doing around like any 15, 18K a month, pretty consistently in sales. But I feel as though I don't, kind of like what we were talking about earlier. It's not fucking exciting. I get like my excitement in life from like going out splurging on women or just doing X, Y, and Z and then making it back in sales. Like that's my fucking dopamine rush. And I know I feel like a fucking sicko for even saying that out loud. I'm stuck on how to find something that's going to give me what I want, a path that's going to give me what I want.
Yeah, man, that's a fucking huge question. It's like I said, man, the only way to truly make it in this modern world is some kind of fucking pathology, brother. Like, we live in a world where the type of pathologies you're seeing, the type of narcissism, these types of personality traits that you're talking about, it's a healthy response to a necrotized, dying culture. In other words, you're going to start to see a lot of mental perturbation in men. Men are going to start being more, you're going to start seeing more madmen, more fucking lunatics, because the culture is so fucking dead. There's no rites of passage. There's no gauntlets. There's no crucibles for men to test themselves in. That basically men are developing these like paranormal style personality traits in order to kind of right the ship. So it's like, bro, you got to kind of embrace that. You got to kind of embrace that fucking hunter, like I was telling you, that hunter run and gun style. That's what I would do, because the type of self-repression of you pretending that that's not who you are is going to come back to rear its ugly head, man, in some other department. Matt, what's going on?
What's going on, Brew? First of all, I want to say thank you for doing this live space. You got a ton of knowledge in here, so I really appreciate that. And I know everyone else does as well, so thank you very much for that.
Yep.
I guess my question would be, any tips for overcoming the scarcity mindset? For background, I'm 19 years old. Really started making some decent money this year. Came from, I guess, damn near sleeping on the floor, which is to where I am now, which is a step up from that. But for some reason, I feel the most uncomfortable now. This thought that maybe one day I'll wake up and everything will be gone and I'm back at square one. It's like this terrifying feeling. And I guess there's any tips on overcoming that?
Are you frugal?
Oh, man, that's a great question. Yeah, I think I am.
Okay, so I've done a lot of fucking like tampering with these two philosophies. The devil may care attitude that some people have towards money, I believe, is like a crystallized trait very early on. I've never seen someone be able to abandon the philosophy that made them successful. In other words, you obviously have a tide of evidence that suggests that being frugal and being scarce, obviously that's worked for you. Obviously it has. Obviously it's been profitable to some degree. I've never seen, and this is hilarious because I saw a meme on this a couple years ago and I laughed because it's true. It said something about being frugal is like terminal cancer. There's no cure.
Yeah. Wow.
Dude, I think it's true. I do think it's true. I think that these styles, I've never seen somebody be able to like vacillate and kind of like enmesh the two. It's like you're either fucking you've found an approach and you found a style. Like people who are frugal, like there's people worth like $300 million who are frugal as fuck. And the reason why they can't spend is because the philosophy of being frugal is what made them all their money. So you can see Like I used to bash frugal people because I used to fucking despise it. And then I realized I had a more mature, enlightened approach as I got older. And I realized that it was just because that was the philosophy that they incorporated to make their money. So I could see why abandoning that would be really fucking troublesome. Just like me as a gambler, it's extremely easy for me to lose and win money because I'm in a game of extremely fast money. So the way I make my money is extremely fast. So I also understand that on a meteoric rise, you can fall just as fast. You know what I mean? Like it's in lockstep. It dovetails perfectly with my philosophy. So it makes sense. Just like athletes, that's why athletes blow all their money because they made the money so fast. So it's like I don't think you should fucking try to be something that you're not, man. I really don't. I don't think you should like purposely try to be like a fucking hefty spender because I just don't think it's going to go well for you. I just think that's in your fucking DNA. I think that's who you are, and I think you need to double down on it.
You know what? You're absolutely right. And now that I'm thinking on it, I was literally down probably to my last like $200 before I actually started to make money. And maybe there's something in my subconscious that's like clinging on to that moment, you know?
Exactly. It's something that's been implanted there, and so I think it's a crutch. Just like I think my style is a crutch. Everything is an overcompensation and a cope and a crutch, bro. It's just like I've come to terms with this. And so abandoning that crutch that's been so useful to you is just going to cause you so much unnecessary pain because you're just going to try to be somebody that you're not. And then guess what? In a roundabout way, you will find very clever ways to sabotage your life to ensure that you go back to that first style that worked for you. That's
Right.
the hilarious part. Is like we can do all these fucking roundabout games all day long and pretend to be who we're not, but all roads lead to Rome. You will always end up exactly back at your baseline of who you are. I've seen it countless times.
Yeah.
So just shortcut it, save yourself the time, and just don't even fucking go there, bro.
Wow, man. Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the
Yep.
time. Great
That
stuff.
was a good
Thank you.
question. Yep, that was a good question. Yo, Nero, talk to us.
Yo, thanks for having me, bro. So I got two questions today. So for background, I'm kind of on the same loner path, so to speak. I live alone. I go to the gym basically every day under the snow. I take the bus alone. I come back, work in my basement. Doing that for a couple years now. I'm in tech, so I'm kind of building something for myself. So the first question is, how do you handle the pain that comes with the loneliness? That's one. And then the second is, what are the lessons that you draw from the, the loner path experience? Because it's very, very fascinating because no one else can relate to it but you, and you pretty much can't explain it to people that are outside your path because they're not gonna understand. Most people are in the sterilized traditional path, go to school, do stuff. I'm not doing any of that. So they're not gonna understand what I'm going through like every single day, trying to carve out a separate life for myself. So how do you deal with the pain and how do you draw the lessons from that? Thank you.
Yeah, look, you're only lonely when you don't like the person that you're with, which is you. Does that make sense? I'll say that again. You're only lonely when you don't like the person that you're with. Your second question. The lonely path, bro, that you are discussing is the one that I do not advocate. Obviously, when you're building the way you're building, you're going to have to do it in private. But at night, there has to be a pressure relief valve. Like, there has to be a pressure release valve, bro, somewhere. There has to be you going out and being social and being gregarious and enlivening up your environment. You will grind yourself down to a nub if you continue to go on that path of just being the fucking lone wolf, wearing the hoodie and sweatpants and grinding all day on the computer. I don't see that as a viable path for any kind of strength or spirit or even kind of mental health, bro. Like, you're going to absolutely have to break out of that fucking work shell and start rolling out solo in the night and meeting people. You have to do it. It's a fucking duty, dude. It's a duty for men to stay socially sharp. It just is. It's one of the burdens that we carry.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Those social skills go away real quick, bro. They go away real quick. I mean, it's just how it works. Like, you got to be in contact with people, man. You have to be fucking rupturing the plane. You have to be fucking putting craters and dents in your environment, man. You got to be stirring shit up. Have to.
All right, I'll start doing that. Appreciate it.
But remember that quote that I said, bro. You are only lonely when you don't like the person that you're with. I want you to reflect on that one. My man, Youth.
Hey, Brood, I wanted to ask you because when you had Matt speaking, talking about frugality and how you said that people will not abandon what's working for them and that we all have different crutches, I'm wondering what happens when it's an inauthentic crutch because we're seeing a lot on social media that people put on these personas and then it works for them. And then you build your whole identity around this persona. And I thought it was fascinating because you said people will not abandon what works for them. They'll revert back to who they really are. But what happens when that crutch is not who you really are? How do you sort of see that playing out?
Well, the social media phenomenon is so fascinating because what you have is you have a bunch of people who they don't want to be successful. They just want you to think they're successful. So in other words, people have sort of figured out in this new online game that if people perceive you as the thing you're trying to be, then you don't actually have to be it. You don't have to be an MMA fighter if you can just tell somebody that you've had 89 professional fights. You don't even ever have to step into the ring. If you can convince people long enough that you are a professional kickboxer, then you don't ever actually have to fight. And then you have the clout and the power of somebody who actually does. So I think what we're seeing, and it's extremely interesting, is a bunch of losers who are at home, who have nothing, no body of work, but they have a bunch of people who think they're successful. So it's basically just a virtual reality headset that a lot of these guys have on, bro. They're basically just fucking in a virtual reality world where they're getting the fucking accolades and applause for achievements that aren't even theirs. And we know how that ends. That ends very poorly. What are your
Man,
thoughts
that's
on that?
wild.
What are your thoughts on that? Because I know I've seen takes that are related to this from you.
I can give you a personal story, like a little thing. So when I was 22, I was uploading YouTube videos on like what I was doing in business experiments, and just one of them took off in relation to my e-commerce store. And I was cracking jokes, I was being this funny guy, and everyone thought I was this big, successful, hilarious entrepreneur. And that sort of crutch or that sort of persona worked for me, and it blew me up to a bunch of success. I made a bunch of money. But then, as you said, I could tell it was like a virtual reality headset, and I wanted to just take it off. I wanted to go back to who I really was, and it just doesn't last. Like you said, I think maybe some people can do it. I just physically can't. I have to follow my spirit, but yeah, I think it plays out very poorly. I think I took off the headset before it became too hard to take off. Like I
That's
was only up a couple $100,000. I only had 70,000 subscribers. Imagine trying to take it off if I had millions of dollars and millions of subscribers. It would just be
bro,
too hard.
bro. It's never coming off at that point, and that's what we're seeing. That's what I'm witnessing this phenomenon every day on here with some of these guys. Some of the outrageous claims that I see, some of the fucking like chest beating and people stilting themselves up, dude. It's gonna get to a point where the damage is completely irreversible. It's actually spooky as fuck, dude.
We'll see how it plays out, man. But I want to say thank you for the space. The energy's been great so far.
Yep, yep. I appreciate it. Nick, you're on.
Hi, how's it going?
What's up, bro?
Man? Hey, I just started following you today, but had a quick question about gambling. I was wondering if you had any tips for sports betting or poker from your experiences.
Yeah, sports betting, don't do it alone because you'll get absolutely fucking destroyed. In order to win in sports betting, you need a very complex team system, infrastructure, tools, accounts, beards, connections. Do not try to tackle the sports betting industry. I don't give a fuck how good somebody says their picks are. You cannot win money long term in sports betting by yourself. It is impossible. Poker, I mean, dude, poker is a fucking. So poker is interesting because the game has been solved. Like the game of poker has literally been solved. So the margins to make money against the best in the world are like nothing. Like the game is almost defunct because it's just been cracked. Like the best in the world are using GTO. They know the fucking best mathematical combinations that are going to happen in any given scenario. And if you're a newbie or a rookie trying to play that game, you're going to get worked. So that's just unfortunate. Yeah, man. As far as the gambling world in general, brother, it's extremely difficult. Extremely difficult, especially if you're riding solo. Like I said, it's absolutely impossible.
Just a quick follow up. What about mixed games in PLO where there's higher variance?
Yeah, PLO, there's definitely still some fucking opportunity. That game's actually fucking crazy. That game's fun as fuck.
Hell yeah.
I love myself a good PLO game. Those pots can get outrageous. Yeah, definitely PLO, I would say, is definitely fun. But like as far as making a living, bro, I mean that's just fucking. I don't want to sit in a dungeon all day. That's why I like sports betting, because I can go live my life and the outcome of the games and shit. You know, I don't have to fucking sit at a table all day. Yo,
It was
Zay.
poppin' G. I was watching your SoundCloud spaces that you have saved, and one thing that really stood out to me was you said you have to be adaptive to new perspectives, and I couldn't agree more. A lot of people are very stubborn and ignorant, and that's just something you can go really deep on. Also, I wanted to ask, do you like fast?
I mean, I kind of do daily. I eat like a massive breakfast and then I eat like a huge dinner. I don't snack in between. So, I mean, I don't really consider that a true fast. I don't know, dude. I've been a pretty harsh critic of fasting because I think it's hilarious. Like fasting because you're truly hungry in the wild is very different than fasting when you know you have 40 ribeyes in the fridge. Like there's a psychological component there where your body truly knows that you're not starving or you're not in a crisis situation, which I think ironically is like probably 80% of the benefit of an actual fast. So yeah, in the modern world, bro, that whole fasting thing is pretty much kind of like, it's kind of some fucking marketing trickery. But I want to go back to your first question, bro, about the perspective. What was your question about that?
No, I just think that really stood out. I've never heard anyone say that ever, and it's just
when I
you
was
can go
saying
really in depth with it.
Yeah, when I was saying that you basically cannot change who you are, you can only change the way you see things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything is perspective in this world.
Yep, that's all it is, man.
And yeah, like how you were saying with like gambling and shit. Like I'm 20, and I just got robbed for 40K. And it just like doesn't even fucking faze me anymore. It's like, yeah, I don't know. That's just how it is. It's just like you make so much and like you just lose that amount. It doesn't even fucking matter.
Yeah, bro. I mean, dude, I tell people this all the time. I got hacked for 2.7 million last year in crypto. Someone fucking hacked my MetaMask, stole 2.7 mil. I got over it the next day.
Yeah, bro.
Straight up, I got over it the next day, and it was an extremely fucking fascinating situation to go through, bro. Because in the years that we live in right now, this is my point. Like, harping and dwelling on bad shit that happened is absolutely absurd. With how fast the world is moving and how much opportunity there is to capture on a daily basis, like, dude, the whole fucking thing is absurd. People like completely get destabilized and lose their fucking mind when they have like even little losses will fucking bring people to their fucking knees because they're in such a fucking scarcity mindset. Dude, even fucking I've been fucked over in business. I cannot tell you how many times. Not once have I ever sued a soul because my thinking is you're telling me I'm going to sit in a fucking court, wait 2 years to try to get a judgment to get my money back when I could literally invest every waking moment of that 2 years to just building a new business and betting on myself. Like I could make back 50 times what I lost trying to recover in a fucking court case if I just went on my own fucking 2 feet and braved the wild and got back on the saddle. Like that's just my mentality with everything. I'm never going to fucking chase losses. If I lose, I charge it to the game. I don't give a fuck if I was fucked over. Don't care. I'm moving on. I'm that fucking powerful and strong where I can fucking survive any of those hits. I'm just going to build a new business. I'm just going to go get it all back. I'm not going to have some dude in a flowing robe with a fucking wooden gavel deciding the destiny of my finances. It's like, bro, why the fuck would I wait 2 years to get a verdict when I could spend that 2 years building a better fucking life for myself? Like, I'm not going to even psychologically be in limbo having that in the back of my head. I'm just not going to live that way.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. And it's like, it just doesn't even phase you. And why waste your energy and put your energy towards, that fucking court case?
Bro,
And you can use that
100%.
energy for something else, bro. Like, I'm
100%.
surprised. Like, I don't even feel emotional. I'm just like, I'll use that energy, that fucking rage, and just fucking go crazy, do bigger shit. That's just
Correct.
how I feel.
Correct.
And
I'll tell you something interesting that I don't think I think a lot of people will be kind of taken aback by this, but the idea of revenge as a concept is really an incel fantasy. Like, very powerful, well-adjusted, strong people do not go for revenge, in my opinion. Makes zero sense.
shit.
It's severe pussy shit. Like, you can literally, with the way things are changing and the vehicles and technology and shit that's changing every day, you can literally get your life back very fucking quickly if things go south. It's just what it is. So, like, wasting your time like some fucking stalker chick trying to fucking go get vengeance on everybody who fucking hurt your feelings in this life, that is bitch shit.
Yeah, man, you gotta have emotional intelligence, and a lot of external factors can alter your emotions, and just people don't have that intelligent, stable ability to keep their emotions in check, on point. I guess you could say.
Bro. Yep, wise words for a youngster, bro. I appreciate you.
Brute, you cool if I take next question?
Yeah, go ahead, Nick.
Dude, so two things. One is what you were talking about with like suing and like court. I had a client who, bro, just nightmare fucking project. Like, it really taught me a lesson of like, here's the client to not go after. Just because they can fucking pay you does not mean they're a good client. Like, they can still be a nightmare client. And this lady sends me a letter basically like trying to sue me for the most part. Like, it was just a long, like 3-page letter of everything that she thought I did wrong and why she wants her money back. And basically she's saying, if you don't send it back to me, I'm going to sue you. And I was like sitting there, I'm like, I don't even know how to respond to this. I've never been fucking sued. I just hit up one of my mentors and I'm like, how do I respond to this? Like, should I write her a letter back or like, what do I do? And he just like laughed on the call. He's like, here's how you respond. He said, sounds good. See you in court. And he's like, just say that. And he's like, and it's done. Dude, and bro, he was 100% right. It was done after that. Never heard from her again after that.
Bro, only losers go to court, dude. I'm telling you. I've been in business with some of the fucking best in the game of all games. Only fucking losers go to court. It's petty. I don't give a fuck if it's your whole life. Go build a fucking new one.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
But, I mean, it was just funny to me because it was like, I'm like, how are you even going to get a hold of me? Like, what? You don't know where I live. Were you going to send someone to try and find me? I'm in a building there's 1,000 fucking units in here. Dude, you're going to have the person waiting out. It's ridiculous.
It's absurd, dude. People just have zero respect for their time, and they don't have the right perspective or the right models of the universe to understand that, like, no one put a fucking gun to your head. Like, you're a fucking grown adult. A deal went south. Take responsibility. Move on. Fucking build a new life. That's simple.
But the question I wanted to ask is, I'm really curious. So I'm 23, and just like listening to the psychology, I'm guessing you're like mid 30s, or am I right?
I'm 35.
So yeah, look at that, I got spot on. What would you like if you could go back to yourself, like at my age, like early 20s, and you had to like just give yourself advice that you think would just save you a fuck ton of just problems, issues, mistakes, shit like that? Like, what would you tell yourself at that point? Because I always think about this from even just like when I was 21, what I would tell myself. I can't imagine what the fuck the gap is from like 35 to like 23. So I'm really curious to hear that.
I would have spoken my mind a hell of a lot more, man, and fucking advocated for myself instead of fucking listening to my fucking parents and fucking mentors and everybody else in my life, bro. I really would have fucking stayed true to my heart. But I was fortunate because I started that process, I would say, around 23.
Yeah.
Prior to that, bro, I was completely a fucking slave to everybody else. Unbelievable, dude, how we can fucking grow in age and don't even understand how so much of our desires and motives and what we're doing is actually just the programming of other people.
Yeah, it's interesting because I was literally telling this to a friend the other week where I was like, I honestly think that most people need programming. Like, because you think about like just your average individual. one of my friends told me this. I thought this was hilarious. He was telling me about like the driving test he had to take because he got a speeding ticket. And he was explaining to me what it was. I've never had to take one. And so it's like you have this like think about something that you could read in 30 seconds, but they set a timer that you need to read it in 7 minutes. And then you have like 6 questions that you have to answer off of it. And he's like, I didn't read a single fucking thing and I have to do this for 10 hours straight. And he's like, it's just the most basic shit. And I asked him, like, do you think that people actually struggle with this? And he said 100%. There's some fucking idiot that can't actually go through that driving test and pass it. And that's it. And it just shows you like that's the not the average, but kind of the lower end of the fucking bell curve person. And then there's the average people who aren't that impressive either. It's like, dude, I feel like they honestly need to have that programming. Otherwise, they're just going to throw their life off the fucking rails. But for the people that are trying to like get to like that outer edge of the bell curve, the people who don't like that shit, who don't want to be average, who don't want to be normal, it's like you have to be so fucking cognizant of what fucking programming, like, why do I believe what I believe? And then, dude, when I started doing that, like for a while I was following Christianity and Orthodoxy. I know I don't even know much about you, bro, but it just sounds to me like you're not fairly religious. I could be completely wrong in that realm. But like, as I started looking to Orthodoxy, I'm like, why the fuck am I even following this? Like, I don't believe a lot of the concepts here. And I was just going through it. I'm like, these are just like man-made concepts. Like, I believe there's a God. I definitely believe that that's out there, but I don't believe in, like, I don't understand why it's Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Like, why am I believing this just to believe it? If you start to like really question all this shit, I think it really makes you start to observe life differently. Cause it's like, okay, where did this fucking thought come from? If I'm not thinking it, someone else thought it. And then I must have absorbed it at some point. If you just become cognizant of it, dude, I think it opens you up to a whole different world of like you actually acting for yourself. So I totally understand what you're saying.
100%, dude. Men are deconstructionists at heart. We learn by breaking things. We learn by breaking things apart, and that includes intellectual violence. Like, you have to inflict intellectual violence on the philosophies that you've been given. Even when I read the Bible, I was going through there and fucking dissecting things and incinerating stuff. But look, some of the parables are good, but like there's a lot in there that I was fucking taking a sword and just fucking slashing in half too.
Bro, that was 100%. That exact thing is what brought me to Islam, though. Like 100%. I was reading the Quran and trying to do that and couldn't do it, and was like, "Fuck!" Like I align with every fucking thing this is saying. There's not one thing this has said that I don't agree with or that I think is confusing. Yeah, and it was we were talking about culture stuff earlier. I was like, it was a really big culture shock for me because it was like, dude, your whole life, especially when you're growing up in America. Like, this is a violent religion. It's not for white people. It's this, it's that. You then go into it and you're like, this is the most accepting, loving, peaceful religion in the entire world. And it's just stupid mass propaganda that pushes that shit out. So I agree with that, dude, that it's like you have to intellectually combat it.
You do. Dude, everything. You don't learn what love is till you get your heart broken. Like, you know what I mean? Like, things break, and then you understand the mechanisms behind them. That's what the human spirit is. That's what the masculine imperative is driven towards. That's what striving is. It's about shattering and breaking as many models as you can and then improving them. You know what I'm saying?
Love it, dude. Thank you.
Yep, good shit, brother. Guys, I'm going to close this down. This was fun as fuck. We're going to do these more common. And like I said, we're going to get fucking multimedia coming in here soon. I'm going to be doing live streams where you can actually fucking see me. And I'm going to start getting some co-hosts and shit. We're going to ramp this up. Had a great time, guys. Peace.